There is a type of man that most people walk past without a second thought. He is not the loudest in the room. He is not performing confidence or making sure everyone around him knows what he is building. He dresses simply. He speaks when he has something worth saying. He does not explain himself. And yet something about him is quietly, unmistakably different. Not in a way you can immediately name, just in a way you feel. Like there is something running behind his eyes that never fully switches off, like he has already been somewhere today that you have not been yet. That man did not become that way by accident. And the place it starts, every single day without exception, is the morning. Not the morning as a productivity aesthetic with a perfect desk and a journal and a coffee going cold beside a motivational book. The morning as a mechanism. A system so consistent and so quiet that by the time the rest of the world is still debating what time to wake up, he has already done something with his first hours that most people will not do at all today. This is the exact architecture of that morning. 6 parts, no wasted motion. Let's get into it. Part 1, the hard wake. The gray man wakes up at the same time every single morning. Not approximately, not on weekdays only, every day. Because your circadian rhythm, the biological system governing your energy, your sharpness, and your mood, is built entirely on consistency. 1 week of irregular sleep destroys cognitive performance in ways that are measurable and real. You are not a bad morning person. You are an unanchored one. Pick a time. Make it early enough that the morning belongs to you before the world arrives. Hold it every day, including weekends. Within 2 weeks, your body begins waking naturally just before the alarm. That is when the morning stops feeling like a fight. And when it goes off, there is no negotiation. No 5 more minutes. The decision was made the night before when your judgment was intact. You do not relitigate it at 5 in the morning. Feet on the floor, standing, move. Part 2, water and cold. Before anything else enters the body, 16 ounces of cold water the moment you are upright. Your brain is 75% water. The mild dehydration you wake up with every morning is a direct contributor to the mental fog most people blame on simply not being a morning person. Fix the root cause first. Then cold. The last 90 seconds of your shower turned completely cold and held without flinching. What this does is release a sustained spike of norepinephrine, the neurotransmitter directly responsible for focus and alertness, at levels that exceed your first coffee. But the deeper reason it is here is psychological. The man who stands in cold water every morning and chooses not to escape it is practicing, in a real and concrete way, the skill of staying calm inside discomfort. That skill transfers to every difficult moment the rest of the day asks of him. After 30 days, it is not uncomfortable anymore. It is just what mornings feel like. That is exactly the point. Part 3, the silence window. 20 minutes. No phone, no music, no input of any kind. Just you and your own unmediated thoughts, in complete silence. For most people, this feels almost physically wrong at first. The urge to reach for the phone is automatic. The mind, trained on constant stimulation, becomes restless the moment the feed is cut. Most people call this boredom and use it as evidence that silence is not for them. It is not boredom, it is withdrawal. Push through the first week and something shifts. Thoughts that have been buried under noise begin to surface. Problems begin to untangle. Ideas arrive that never had space to form before. The gray man's quality of clear, uncluttered thinking does not come from being naturally smarter. It comes from being one of the only people in his environment who gives his mind 20 minutes every morning to actually think. This is the most underrated competitive advantage available to any man right now. And it costs nothing. Part 4, move the body before the mind clocks in. Training in the morning is in this routine because of chemistry, not aesthetics. Hard physical effort releases BDNF, dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine at levels that sharpen focus, improve memory, and upgrade decision-making quality for the next 4 to 6 hours. The gray man sits down to his most important work, with a brain operating at a biological peak that the man who skipped training simply cannot access. 45 minutes. Resistance training, running, calisthenics. Hard enough that the body understands it is being asked to adapt, show up, and work. Part 5. Fuel like what you do matters. The post-workout meal is the most important nutritional window of the day. Real protein. Enough carbohydrates to replace what training used. Healthy fats for sustained cognitive energy. The man eating processed food in the morning is choosing a blood sugar crash that lands directly in the middle of his most productive hours. The gray man is not interested in that trade. Coffee belongs here too, but after food. Caffeine on an empty stomach spikes cortisol and produces anxiety that compounds through the morning. After a real meal, it extends the already elevated focus state the morning has built. 1 or 2 cups. Sustained, clean energy is the goal, not a sprint that burns out before noon. Part 6. The one thing. Before he opens his laptop, before he checks messages, before the world makes its first demand, the gray man writes down the single most important thing he needs to accomplish today. Not a list. One thing. The thing that, if it gets done and nothing else does, the day was still a success. Without this, the day belongs to whoever shouts loudest. Emails, notifications, small urgent tasks that create the feeling of productivity while the most important work sits untouched. One sentence. Somewhere, visible, protected, until it is finished. What happens when you run this every day? The first week feels mechanical. The second week feels like it might be working. By the end of month 1, something has shifted that you cannot fully articulate. The quality of your thinking is different. The way you handle difficulty is different. Things that used to destabilize you simply do not land the same way anymore. By month 3, this is not something you do. It is something you are. Not louder, not more visible, just more present, more grounded, more clear, more difficult to shake. That is the gray man. And it starts tomorrow morning at whatever time you decide tonight. So by the end, go set the alarm,